Hello. Hello. Doing some tests. Something weird happened. Okay. Sorry, I needed to check my audio. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follower or the follow frame. Well, I'm here. Hello. Welcome. Got a 2-minute late start, but that's alright. Let's get this out of the way. Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday, October 7th. Hope everyone is doing all right. Welcome to the Inktober stream. Yesterday I said that this would be a chiller stream. Hang on a second. I cannot hear the music. I can't hear the music. I don't know what's going on here. Let me check my settings real quick. Having technical difficulties. Again. For Pete's sake. It says it's connected. Playing. Okay. I'm gonna mute myself real quick to try and figure this out. I don't know why this isn't. Okay, there we go. Now I can hear the music. I'd be alright without hearing it, but I enjoy listening to music while I draw. Alrighty. So, yesterday I did say that I would be doing a shorter stream, and I do plan on it, but it is going to be a little bit longer. As I got a request to do a small how-to draw tutorial, I guess. So I am gonna do that. I thought it'd be nice. But we're gonna do that after the Inktober. So today's prompt is starfish I got a message. Who's messaging me? Oh, no way! That's so cute. My husband sent a photo of a Mimikyu that's in the new Pokemon TCG game. So cute. Ooh. Fade. Why did that just cut in? Okay, I think we'll probably experience a little bit of lag. It's okay. See if I can't reduce the lag a little. Alright, so yesterday we had a 3.5 hour stream going over all 6 of the different prompts. First one was mustache. I drew my boy Gabriel, named after my friend Geb, for mustache. This is an OC of mine. Next was weave. I drew an old grandma using some magic and her little spider familiars to weave a nice new blanket. Next was crown, so I drew Rat King, of course. Then we had murky, so I drew a swamp potion. I thought that was kind of cute. All of these are like pretty quick drawings, all in black and white, just things that are like pretty simple, just for practice. Then after murky we had deer, and I kind of wanted like a skinwalker vibe, I guess, you know? So drew a real creepy looking deer. Kind of came out pretty good, I think. I've never drawn a deer before. And then the next was Pierce. So I drew another OC of mine, Manolo, getting his tongue pierced. Because he likes his piercings, you know? We like Manolo. So those were all 6. And today we have starfish. So let's bring out our creative thinking. So starfish, obviously you probably think of first thing like Patrick Starfish, but I have like 2 ideas, doing one like an anglerfish with like a star light on the end, or like star fishes, like night sky starfishes. Oh, like a shooting star. Wait, that'd be so cute. I can go 2 routes. I can go creepy, or we can go kind of wholesome. Which one do we want to do? We have a couple wholesome ones. We don't have a lot of creepy. This is for Inktober, so I think we'll stick with the creepy. We'll kind of have a, I think we want like a pretty, and I think kind of having the light showing, and then just I think having it this, and then oh, we can do like a creepy and wholesome one. Wait, we can do this. We can do this. You said you can't have both. So we have bringing out the Eldritch Horrors. Okay, so we just want a smile and eyes for this, and then I think if we kind of have like the body, And then these are quick 30-minute ones. This is a stick up. Well, that's not very nice. Don't do that. What else is here? Put the tattoo art in the bag. What do you mean tattoo art? What are you talking about? I think we'll have like little stars on this guy. Okay, I like this. I have a stick of bread and I'm not afraid to... Don't be stinky. I don't like that. There we go. Now we... super soft. You're stinky. So, James, today's prompt is starfish. If you want to also participate. Fish, yes. Now, go big. After the meeting. Okay. And we're just gonna layer this. Layer it to show depth and light from the star. add shading to the eyes. I kind of want this to be a bit darker. And I kind of just want the teeth to be showing. Let's see, we're at 22 minutes. Got a little over 5 minutes to finish this. And then move on to the little test. Well, not test, but the practice. Okay. Now we do my favorite bit, reduction. Add the highlights where we want them. Shadows later on, just to be a bit more specific about things. Okay, now we go back in. Add highlights and shadows. I'm done with that. I think if I add a little bit around the star, it might help. I also haven't blended any of this, so that'll also help to smooth things out a little. Just a little bit of messy blending. And then we'll go back in and touch up everything. We blend our problems away here. Just blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. Messy blend it. Okay, that still has some good texture. We'll add this. And then blend out a little of the tail. Fish here. Do the same on the teeth. Just a little. Then I go back in. Highlight it all. Then add more, or like retouch up the highlighting here. To the stars again. Fins. And then the stars over here. Alrighty. And here we have our starfish. Very, very creepy. But cute. Super cool, super cool. Alrighty. And that was 3 minutes over 30 minutes, but that's all good. Because this is going to be a little bit of a longer stream. So this one is... Oh, whoops. Starfish. Here we go. Super cool. Alrighty. So, I am going to take a little break. And then we will come back in a second. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in a minute. Alrighty, I am back. Let us get back to it. So, thank you, bub. So, the second part of this stream is going to be a educational how to draw, I guess. And James has already, in the chat, has already gotten some insider looks on everything. So this is gonna be a speed run, I guess. Of I guess how to draw. Oh wow, this is different. So let's choose, we'll stick with this. This pencil's pretty good. Just like sketching in real life, that is what I reference as far as like digital. As far as drawing digitally and drawing on paper can be different and similar. Obviously, the art study itself is very similar, but it's just the material that you use is different. Drawing digitally, in my opinion, can feel very different as opposed to paper on pen. So it takes a little bit of getting used to as far as transferring skills. It can feel a lot different and might be a little bit more difficult to kind of get the same effects that you would usually get as far as like paper and pencil and the easy like shading and all that stuff, smudging. Anyway, so the first things first is learning shapes. So obviously you can't see my hand, but I'm doing a circular motion to kind of get the shape that I want as far as like a circle goes. So imagine my hands going in a circular motion to get a good close enough circle. So start like this. I mean, that's pretty good. Obviously, using Procreate, I could just do a circle, tap and hold, and then I would technically get a perfect circle, but that's not really how you learn. So you do a circular motion, trying to get like before your pen touches paper or your pen touches tablet. And then when you're ready, just get it somewhat close. And obviously this isn't perfect, but that's all right. We can fix it up as we go. So we have a circle, then we get a square. This one, you don't really have to do a motion. Lines are going to be wobbly. It's not going to be perfect. Just do what you can with it. Then we're going to have a triangle. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the shapes that we want. We can also do a rectangle, but these are the main three shapes that you will use a lot. A lot of it is anything else, other shapes are just variations of these three main shapes. These two tend to be the most commonly used as far as space goes. So obviously we'll start with the circle. So once you kind of have the basic shapes, it seems really elementary and basic, but these are important as far as like starting out. So the next thing you want to do, whether you're digital, physical, is shading. We want to turn this flat 2D image into a 3D image. So the difference between a 2D image and a 3D image, obviously. 2D is a flat object with no shape. It doesn't have a lot of dimension to it. Whereas like a 3D object, it has some dimension and you can see that there is form. It looks something close to something that you could grab and hold. Obviously, 4D is something that you can actually hold and experience. So, moving on. We are going to take the side of the pen. And we're just gonna kind of how I'm trying to see if I can, because right now, if I were to like draw out how I'm currently holding my pen, it's like this. So you have your pen, thumb. It's like this, okay? This is how I'm currently holding it. Usually how you hold it during a majority of the time. When it comes to shading using pencils or charcoal, it can be easier to hold the pencil horizontally instead of vertically, because as far as like digital and in person goes, you will, instead of just using the tip, you will use a majority of the graphite or charcoal. So anyway, me over explaining. Where something that I find helps drawing where the sunlight hits and where the shading begins. So light's going to be on this side, shading is going to be on this side. What we want to do is layer. You don't have to stay inside the lines at all. That is what smudging is for. So you just get it all up in there. And something to take note of is less is more. So start off light, don't go too crazy. And then just continue to add. We are going to layer. And this right here is the major sunspot. So now we have kind of a general. Your guy has dies. She's back. Oh, did it freak out? That's not good. I think my computer's bugging a bit. I might have to ask you to look at it at some point, but now we're going to layer. We're going to go for a second layer, make things a little bit darker. Adding a little bit more pressure. To the side that doesn't get any sunlight, you know. And we want to kind of give it like a really drastic change. Like this is an inanimate object. It's going to have a harsh shadow line. And there. So now, since there is a shadow, we will be adding shading this way as well. All the way kind of to up front, all the way to the back. And of course, shading the strategy still applies where it's like closest you are to the ball, the darker the shading is, and then it's gonna lighten up a bit. I'm gonna add a little less pressure. Grayscale meatball, yes. And then light around the edges. So the darker parts are only where this ball is. And everything is light. Now, we have the fun part of, you could leave it like this, or could use a smudge tool. We'll try and keep it the same, a 6B pencil. Or if you want to kind of like create your own smudge tool using paper, all you really need is like a, here, I'll use this. Use a paper like this, and you'll start from the corner. You'll tear off a piece of paper, or you use a piece of paper. Start from the corner and kind of just roll it sideways. Until you can get like a bit of a point going. And when you when you're done folding your paper, it doesn't have to be big. You'll use the point of this paper to smudge your graphite or your charcoal. And that's just how you make a smudge tool for yourself. It's really easy to make, more affordable than just buying one. Anyway, now we are going to use our smudge tool to try and smooth out, if this will let me. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That is a lot more smudging than I thought it would do. I don't know if I like that. There is a charcoal one that I like a bit better. Hang on. I'll use this. Compressed charcoal. That's better. Okay. That's a little bit more realistic of what you would get in real life, as far as smudging will go. I gotta talk about a flippin' weird movie I watched. Go for it. So here we are just continuing to smudge. You can see that the dark areas are still staying pretty dark. We will be going back over them to like touch up to make sure that it is like a true dark. Elvis Presley is abduction by aliens and is sent to the future, and he meets an African American man in a wheel who thinks he's JFK, and they fight an undead mummy in a retire. What movie is this? What the heck? A wheelchair, excuse me. You're all good. Continue to smudge. Continue to smudge. Also get rid of the harsh line references. We don't want those. This is meant to be an organic object. The light and the shadows are going to be your harshest lines. And we just smooth this out, get rid of this. Bring this up a little bit. Alrighty. Just like that, you have a ball. Crazy. Next, we're going to do the shadow. Start from the darkest point, just because it'll make it easier as far as fading it out a bit, going from darkest to lightest. Smoothing things out, get the edges. Shadows don't really have super harsh lines. They are pretty soft. All right. And that is pretty basic on how to do a ball, a 3D, turn a circle into a 3D image. I swear I'm not on drugs. It's a real film. It's called Bubba Hotep. That sounds kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. But here we're just gonna go back. Do some touch-ups of the darker shading. Make sure that it is. That's something also is that like your drawings also do not have to be super smooth. They can be really textured like this. And add like texture, make it less just lighter as you go. It still has a similar effect, but it doesn't have to be completely smooth. You can still have a little bit of texture showing, you know. Get it going like this. I actually wasn't a massive fan of the that texture, but yeah. Actually, with the shadow in this is actually kind of incorrect, technically speaking. Because if from where things are being shown, the shadow would be a little further back. About back here. That seems a bit more accurate. Well, that's kind of just perspective. Like the shadow is a little more front facing than off to the side. So the shadow would be a little bit further behind it. Have you considered that you're smelling? That looks a lot more okay, that looks a lot more accurate. Okay, great. So that is circle. next move on to is square. Now a square, little bit different. Obviously it is a bit difficult to turn this into a 3D object as is. One option that we could do is to maybe turn it into a cloth by adding texture, or go the basic route of turning this square into a cube, which dives a bit deeper into understanding space. A cube. This will, and again, doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, this is a bit of a shallow perspective. But we will have the sun be same area. We'll reference the sun here, so the light's gonna be on this side, shadow's gonna be here, a little light perspective over here, but mostly shadows over here. And yeah, so we're just gonna go straight into shading. Straight into shading. I'm gonna try and make this. I'm not gonna smudge with this one. We're just gonna do kind of straight charcoal. Try and make this as accurate as possible. So with this is gonna be straight line. There's gonna be extra here. Keep following it, and it's gonna be darker where the shadow goes, and then a bit lighter. So now I'm gonna just continue to shade. This is the darkest point. Gets a little brighter as we go up. There's a little bit of shading over here, and little to no shading over here. So what I'm gonna do as far as this cube goes is I am gonna smudge the reference lines, because we are using everything. I am gonna smudge the lines that the shadow doesn't hit. Just to create our more realistic cube. So did I see the... I did! I saw what you showed me. It looks so cute. I love it. Thank you for sending it to me. So again, darkening the darkest point, just because the shadow is not gonna have that dark shading as much. So this is a very crude kind of perspective of a cube, but y'all kind of get the idea. Here, let's see if I can't. We'll touch it up with an eraser. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Oh, that's too big. Way too big. Get rid of any stinky smellies lines that we don't really want. Alright, and there is going to be a more harsh line for this. It will be harsher. Alright, so that is a very, like, one-sided cube, if you can imagine. But just kind of like picking and choosing where you kind of want the shading to be. Having specific references can also be really good. This is gonna have a harsher line. Kind of knowing where the darkest darks start and the lighter areas meet is a good kind of thing to be able to recognize. Just doing some hashing. This area is gonna have some darker lines. I'm gonna get too into this. Alright. So you guys gotta get the gist. Yeah. Cube. Super cool. Next is triangle. Obviously we could have the classic prism, or we could have it be a little bit more like a cone. Which ones do you guys want to do? Cone, prism. We could actually do a prism. A prism would be interesting. Let's do a prism. Because that will have, like, fractions of light. Which is kind of difficult to use without, like, a reference. You know? We'll do our best. So, a prism. We will have to use the same light spot. There's gonna be light here. It's probably gonna be, if light, because there will be fractions of light, so probably have a little bit of shading and light. Shading, light. It will all kind of be similar. We'll give this a go. Let's try this. Okay. This is scary. So the base is obviously going to be a little bit darker, as it will be a sitting object. This is probably not gonna, this is gonna probably be a little bit weirder. A challenge. Don't know how well this will go. Because I'm not using a reference. So I'm kind of just making it up. You know? I think definitely using a reference for this would be better. But yeah, I'm not gonna try anything crazy. Let's go for we'll go for a cone. We'll be a little simple. Sorry. So again, same light. It's actually gonna come from the actually. Yeah, let's have the light facing this way. So we will have the sides be darker. Now we smudge. We smooth it out. Get rid of this reference line. Get rid of them. Smudge it again. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We are learning how to draw. Oh, hey, hello. So next, this point is actually going to be a lot brighter. It is the top. It is just the sides that are going to be kind of messed with. Learning is good. Learning is good. I agree. So now we're going to go to the sides. Make these a bit darker. And go all the way up. Because it is kind of easy to have, it's a little bit more difficult to have the light facing you as opposed to just having the shadows. There are, if the shadows face you, there is a lot more to draw, but you get to add extra stuff and it doesn't look as wild crazy. Where it's like if the light is facing you, there's less to draw. Having less to draw is actually can tend to be a lot more difficult as opposed to having more. Because your brain just wants to fill in a lot of the empty space. But there is nothing in the space. You're crazy. There's nothing there. Softer lines, because again, organic objects do not have harsh lines. They do not have harsh outlines. Hello, I'm doing good. How are you? We are learning to draw. We're starting with the basics, just shapes and shading. Talking about how organic shapes do not have harsh outlines. The harshest outline you will get on an organic object is shading and highlighting. Yay! So obviously we have the light right here. The shading is behind it, which you can't see because you are facing the light, so the shadow is facing away from you. This one, you can see a little bit of the shadow. This one is the shadow's facing you a bit more. There's a lot more texture. Can add a bit more texture. Just do cross hatching. Any of it. Any texture you want. Okay, so that is the basics of shape and form. Taking a 2D circle, square, and triangle into a cone or prism. A box, which boxes are great as far as, you know, figuring out space and how things fit, and a sphere to kind of help it with the form of 3D objects. So, with that being said, what I'm going to do is I am going to extract that time lapse. I'm just going to save. And then we're going to clear this. So, next thing, obviously, so now we have the basics kind of figured out. I wanted to speed run this a bit. The next thing that I could think of is understanding space and proportion. So that is where the beauty of the box kind of comes in. Having a box and a grid can be tremendous for understanding, for having more spatial awareness as far as like what you are drawing. Obviously this is not a perfect box. This is not a great box. But it can help a lot. Beauty of a box, thank you. So with this, I'm gonna clear this. We have let's do a smaller box. We have our square. Now, in this square, we are going to draw a circle. Because we're gonna speedrun this. We're gonna show you how to accurately make a proportioned face. This doesn't have anything really to do with art style. Art style is dependent on the artist itself. Obviously, everyone has a different art style with different proportions, so it's going to look a lot different, all things being considered. So, but if you have basic form down, the proportions of, we'll use a male face, a more male physique. Male physiques, or more masculine physiques to be more accurate, tend to be a lot more boxy and rigid. So you'll have a more rigid jawline. The necks tend to meet the edge of the jaws, and where something that I have noticed is where your ears, the tip of your ears meet, is it aligns with your eyes. So your eyes will be here. Eyebrows slightly above it. Nose is usually at the bottom part of the lobes of your ears. Mouth slightly under where the jawline meets. And then plenty of room for both the forehead and the chin. Because something that I notice a good amount of artists do as far as accurately proportioning a head is they will either make the chin too small or the forehead too small if you want an accurately proportioned face. So for this, we're just going to draw little dots for the eyes. A little booper for the nose. A little thing. This is in my art style. And then we have this a semi-accurate face. Let me redo that. Something also of note that I learned is how to know that your eyes are at a good length apart is if you can fit another eye in between. Next, we're going to do the nose. And a little mouth. And the lip underneath. Then we can add the eyebrows. And that is a pretty... yeah, it's a pretty accurate kind of depiction of like a like that looks pretty proportionate. Now comes the fun part. If so we fit this into a square. That means that we can fit this into a box. Now this can be a little scary, but that line's not right. Get this out of here. Okay, so now comes a little bit of perspective. We actually, let me redo this. I need this to be around the same size as, I want this to be around the same size as the box that I drew. So draw another box. Angle it a bit. This side is going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to come up at an angle. There we go. Gonna be back in some minute. Need to take care of some meows. Oh, yay! Instant ban. Get out of here. Just as an update, anyone who comes into my chat promoting anything that isn't approved by mods or me is an instant ban. So I actually want to make this a little bit smaller. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but I can't help myself. Now, the box won't always align perfectly. That's alright. Don't really want it to. So, now we have a box. I think what I will do is put the head about here. Now we use the reference to make the jawline. And this is also a good study if you have like skeletal studies for the skull. Obviously this isn't a 100% accurate image. It's pretty close though. I got the neck, the jaw. This be a little bit more side. A little more angular, but you get the gist. So now, draw the nose, tip of the ears, this side's gonna be a little bit bigger, just for perspective reasons. And that's like, that is a very sloppy way of saying it, but you can use a space to kind of get a different perspective. Now, obviously, if you want to get specific, we'll just do a ball for now. Use guidelines, which do help a lot. 3, 4. Obviously, I'm on Procreate, so I'll just cheat with this one. Actually, I won't. We don't cheat in art. It's cheating. There we go. Okay, so a not so great drawn ball. Doesn't have to be perfect, but can't help myself. So now we do box trick. Just make a box. Get the perspective, and then 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and same. Go back, bring her back. And just kind of like follow up with the lines. Make sure that they are aligned. Obviously this isn't, but you would just bring the ball to life. Like this. And this is actually, I don't think this is a great way of showing it, but you can more accurately reference images like this by taking the correct measurements, using the reference lines. Makes things easier to kind of, you know, get things a little bit more accurate. So with that being said, what else? Oh, here I will export this, do a full length. We'll go into anatomy next. So we are speed running this a little. Okay. So anatomy, this is where the circles and shapes kind of come in as well. So this is what we call as a skeleton base. You have the head, which is a circle. It's basic shapes. I'll do both a man and a woman, or a feminine and more masculine. Those are better terms to have. A feminine and masculine build. I'll bring this closer. So this one's going to be the more masculine build. This one's going to be the more feminine. So the masculine build, usually they come in different shapes and sizes. So we will, in a general whole, they are boxier. The chest is a little bit less. A little, like, about here. Obviously, everyone has a different shape, different form. I need to minimize this. Then we have legs. dips. Thighs, knees, calves. And the feet, which I always have such a great time with. Then we got, can't forget the arms. So one thing about forearms is that they curve. They have hands. Everything is curvy in the body. And that is a kind of general on the male form. Or not the male form, but the more masculine form. Obviously going more into detail. You get the neck kind of on the sides. Traps. Shoulders and all that. Then if they have a more muscular build, show the shoulders. Actually, it comes out more like this. And then the arms come down like that. That's kind of because the inside curves a bit more. You have where the arm bends, hand, and then there's all the joints. Then where this meets, you have, I think it's the excuse me if I'm wrong, the delts, chest, here, all that. Add the nice moves. And then we can add some pectorals. And a little belly button. And V. Now, this is very, like, minimal, if that makes sense. But usually they kind of cut off just about there. And belly button might be a bit lower, actually. You just add the little nips, add bigger chest. And then that's kind of the this is for a more muscular build, for a more masculine figure that you do see a lot in drawings. As for the next bit, usually the thighs probably wouldn't be as big, but for the sake of continuing with the reference of my drawing, then we add calves. We gotta add the little joint bones. And then little toesies. You know, they're probably got like a pretty muscular build setup. They're, you know, you got the kneecaps, and actually knees they're very straight. Or like the shins are, at least. And we'll add a... This does feel... The thighs feel so unrealistic. Like, it would be a hell of a lot smaller as far as, like, being accurately proportionate. But we're not gonna change it. Going to a bigger build. Not having... We'll call it our bear builds. We love the bear builds. I'm tapping away at this. Excuse me. Okay, you know what? Fuck. God dang it. I don't want to get rid of the skeleton. Here. Here's what we do with the bear builds. Bear builds. It is kind of more in the abdomen area. Bear builds do tend to still have fairly muscular arms. They might just be a little bit rounder. Hands are still pretty big. So it's similar to the muscular build, but just a little bit rounder. Not as angular. This is like a kind of like buffer kind of guy, you know? But usually have a bit more of a belly. I want to accurately like depict this as best I can. They usually would have bigger legs. Similar feet. This is kind of like a bigger build. This is what I call the bear build. The face won't be so slim. Usually it'll be a little bit rounder. Ears. There we go. There's our bear build. Not too bad. And 1 second, sorry. Okay. And similar to our next, we have a little bit more petite build. These are all like adults. by the way. None of these are like child size. I don't usually tend to draw children. It's not my... I've usually only drawn adults. Okay, next. Getting a little bit of a scrawnier build. Less masculine. We'll have this guy do a pose. Kind of. Actually. Arm. And then it would kind of curve. Be like this. So he's kind of... Oh. It's kind of, it looks big. It looks bigger, but... Well... It's got a slim... Usually they will have a slim face. Neck might not be as filling, so it'll curve in a little bit more. Traps won't be as defined. You know, it'll just be... But also might not have as much of a... shadow. Such a bad habit. I draw all my men with the these sides are actually a bit too long. So we will move it up. Because everyone does have calf muscles. There is not a single soul on this earth that doesn't have calf muscles. We all walk on our leg. Or, no, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. Not everyone walks on their legs. Not everyone walks on their legs. But we do still have muscles. That was almost really rude of me. And then we get the feet. And this is kind of how I would draw a more skinny guy. Usually it's like, you know, if a guy's skinny, usually you can like, it's like they have like a little bit of a cheat code to, you know, having abs, but it's kind of just not as much skin to, or fat to hide it. Next, we'll do arms. So like and that's not a bad thing. None of it is a bad thing. Again, this needs to be the one that pops out. This one's going to be a bit straighter. This is going to hold it. And then this. So I would need to reduce this a bit. Because that is way too thick. Here we'll draw a little bit of perspective, the elbow. He still looks really muscular. And I think it's this. And the pose. It's just he looks muscular. My apologies. Just need to try and slim them down a bit. You guys kind of get the gist. Add some hip dips. The world doesn't have enough hip dips. And that's male kind of anatomy in a more sketchy light. Next, we can focus on female anatomy, which I don't have that much practice in, so I will do my best. Now female anatomies, the faces tend to be, well, not female, feminine. Feminine anatomies tend to be a lot rounder. Necks, fairly similar to the less athletic build. Bodies tend to be a lot curvier. That's where the breast line usually lays. Bring your torso a little bit further down. Yonder. Now, this one is going to be a more of, I guess, the ideal socially wanted hourglass look. Obviously, different shapes and sizes for women and men, all beautiful in their own right. This is just kind of what I will do. There we go. You see, something like that, where it's like the front view foot versus the side view can be difficult to learn. I'm still learning it. It's just weird. Okay. So again, I probably drew the hips a little bit too wide. That's all right. So this one is hourglass build for bahubas. We've got two situations here. We've got front view, side view. For a kind of average. They aren't like this, obviously. No boob looks like that unless you got some crazy work done. Having a boob, usually they're actually quite pointy. And they kind of dip down. There you go, like this. This is where the arm kind of meets. But as far as like and they don't like, they're not perfectly face forward. Sometimes boobs look like this. Sometimes boobs look like this. Sometimes they look like this. You know? Like, and they're, I mean, if they're, you know, I don't know. But I don't know a single one that does like this. It's just, unless it's like in a bra. Unless it's supported. Usually they're like this. We'll slip down a bit. There we go. Because it's like you have the chest. And then the fat stays in here. That's a quick listen on boobs. So for this one, we will just do, they don't always have to meet like to the middle either. They really don't. But I like to use the little chest reference because that can help as far as like a better layout of like the underboob chest flow. And then we got the torso. So where this is where the hip starts. And it is round. Got hip dips. We got this point. We'll add shorts. We add shorts to all of them. So we like thick thighs here. This is a thick thigh family. So obviously hip dip. This is a hip dip. We don't need to be afraid of hip dips. Hip dips are natural. Hip dips are very pretty. Everyone has them. Very similar situation to the more masculine build. Feet and all that shit is similar. It's only just like foot size, I guess. Now, this looks very athletic. I think proportionately wise, it'd be more like this. And then arms can be a lot more rounded. Same situation where they curve. Obviously, this isn't a great. I don't think this is a great, super great drawing. But that is one version of the feminine, a more like hourglassy type. Now, for a rounded, more like heavy set, we'll give again round head, fuller neck. Just softer rounds. The chest does tend to be a bit bigger. Only not that big though. And just referencing the again, bigger hip dips and thighs. I honestly don't have a terribly good reference, unfortunately, for bigger builds. So I hope I'm doing it justice. It can still be feminine. Still very attractive. Those sides are way too big. They're just a bit overly rounded. Actually, I will. Shoulders will be a bit bigger. That's like that's a one way of drawing a bigger built woman or feminine figure. Better way to put it. And then more petite, smaller face. God, that is like Tim Burton skinny. Oh my god. We'll do, because women have a wide variety of not women. Feminine figures can have a wide variety of I could do like a boxier. Like a pear-shaped. Do like pear. Let's see. It's kind of hard to do it just off of the top of my head, but those are some. Let me see if I can't do a we'll have this one do a pose too. That arm is definitely way too long. That's still way too long. Let's see. No, smaller. Okay, I think that's better. Let me delete his feet. Get rid of them. Let's. Now it's too short. Okay. So, chest. This one is off to the side so we can see a little bit more of her chest. This view, it's gonna be pointed towards you. So up more, it's not gonna be as angular. Now, here we go. Now, I definitely don't think that this... I think the shoulders need to be a little less broad. Same with the torso here. I actually think that the torso needs to be shorter, actually. That's way better. Oh my gosh. And then we'll grab, what's this? And bring it, actually I want to bring it up right about there. And then, oops, oh come on. We have the hip dips. And that's like, it's a boxier figure. Obviously, she's posed, or they are posed. A little bit of figure. But chest tends to be a little bit lower. Let's get this right. All right. So this is a kind of skinnier masculine figure and a boxier figure. Obviously, you have the options. A smaller face. This one is a little bit of a scrawnier build. You have the Dorito effect, you know. And I will save this as a video, full length. This isn't actually like doing in sections like I think it is. Anyway, so that is all that I'm gonna do as far as teaching. This has already gone on so much longer than I had than I planned. So last thing I'll do is, in my art style, a quick sketch of, I guess, myself. This is just like a little chibi version. Start with the ear. Sometimes the little earlobes will have like X's, or just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I do like the little nose markings. I like to give myself like thick round eyebrows. I think that just suits me the most. And then I have really curly hair. And it's a little short right now, but it's kind of growing it to the, but actually what I like to do first is little hair points. And then from there I can connect the lines. Add a little nose bridge for my glasses. And then obviously you gotta add the glasses, but have them go slightly over baseline. And then add a little bit of shading. Then we can add, well, I'll add a little bit of color. I have green in my hair right now. So I'll add some green squigglies. And make the blush a little pink. And then go back over. Alright. That's a little doodle that I just do of myself and others. Another doodle that I like to do is of my husband. There's one specific doodle that I love that I did of him. And it was of him kind of like looking back at me. It was referencing a photo. Obviously, my husband has different hair. But oh, the eyes look wonky. So is that mouth. And a mustache. Just quick drawing this. My husband has I'm gonna redo those eyes. And at the time, he had a piercing. And really scruffy hair. He still has scruffy hair, which I love. But it was this kind of style that I drew him in that I absolutely love. Love, 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 love. I love this. It's so cute. Ugh. Oh, I love this. This is so cute. Oh my god. I think my husband's just the cutest. He's just so adorable. I love him so much. So, so much. Just add. And he does have freckles.
Alright. Why are you drawing me?
Why not? I like it.
Let me use a urination station, then I'll be back to draw my starfish, yeah?
Yeah. So this is us. He's a big cutie. I love him a lot. And I love that art style. It's just very simple. It's very satisfying. Just nice. Just nice. Ah. Anyway. That will be all for my drawing. Oof. You're doing it on my iPad?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Go on, hand it over.
Okay. Give me a second, because I like this image. So I'm gonna
Go make a new one, yeah?
get you a new one, yeah.
Alright.
Here you go.
Let's have it. Let's have, yeah. Right, so, are you going to watch up on there?
Yeah, I'll watch.
So, I'll resist the urge to draw a chocolate starfish.
Stop.
That's the point, right? Sorry, let me think of some ideas.
My husband's taking over my stream.
I am.
He's at the iPad right now, everyone. My husband is at the iPad. I am not.
So, the ideas are I could just draw Patrick.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Or you could draw a star.
No, I have an idea. I have an idea.
Yeah.
So hold on. How do I have no idea how to use this tool. But I don't want you showing me. So I assume, yeah, that's a plastic. Yeah. And then what's the last side? Okay.
Do you want pencil or do you want a marker?
Pencil for guidelines.
Okay.
Hold on. Sketching. Okay, I'm on sketching. So.
Wait. Are you talking about a layer?
Huh?
So you see this?
There's layers?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'll use layer one. Yeah, go on.
There you go. Figuring it out, everyone.
It's not drawing.
Is it on?
I mean, I would.
Is the opacity too low?
Oh, yeah, it is. Right, how do I undo? I can still, if I look real close, there we go, that's fine.
You're doing great, my love.
We'll draw.
Drawing with a marker might be easier instead of a pencil, because pencils can be hard to show up.
Goodness gracious. Right, go on then. Where's the markers?
So you can do inking.
Inking.
Syrup is the easiest one.
Hold on. Let me get
Here,
the angle. Here we go. I hope they're all ready for this is a drawing stream, right? You've got somebody that's like, right, here we go. Bash. So that's the guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah. I reckon. I don't think I need any more guidelines than that.
Okay.
So I guess now I need a new layer. I'm still on syrup. Yeah, got it. Syrup side. We're gonna need. Yeah, that's good. That's a good color.
Yeah.
So. Yes, I'll kind of like. It's gonna kind of. No, that's crap. Because the top triangle is a different size to the bottom triangle. It's because I'm resting my arms with it. Whatever, we make do, we make do.
Are you making a star?
Yeah. Look at that. See, that's all right. That's decent for a start, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not really using the guidelines. No, that's crap. I want to have a little bit of a point to it at least. There we go. That's it. That's it. Are starfish normally symmetrical like that? Are the arms normally the same size?
Sometimes they're not.
There we go. That's the excuse.
Sometimes their arms get cut off. Like reptiles.
Go. Alright. No longer need guidelines. Alright, how do you do? Look at that. Alright. We're off to a start.
Looks quite
Okay.
cool.
Is everybody with me still?
I think so.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Can I like copy the layer? How do I paste it now?
Can duplicate layers.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Do this
Yeah.
and circle this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, along. There.
Okay, cool. And then can I shrink it?
Yeah. You'll just select this, and then you can shrink it up.
Okay. Is there a way to shrink it in the it's fit to the middle, like
Do you want it to be
how do
a
I
different
undo
color?
that? How do I undo that?
You hit reset.
Cool, thank you. No, I just want it to shrink just a teensy little bit. Because that's gonna shrink. Like I'd have to. I guess I could do like that. And then we can't see the difference in colour just yet, but we'll get there. You know, we'll get there.
I gotcha.
That's probably good. Now let's. I didn't shrink it enough. So let me go back to look at this. No, this. Okay. That's decent, that's decent.
Yeah.
Right. What next? Oh, where am I? Here we go. What is that?
What's what?
I'm trying to erase the things a little bit.
Erase what?
There's a little bit hanging off. And what is that? That's garbo. Charcoal? I thought it was an eraser.
It's just the texture. Do here. I'm doing syrup.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm fucking doing it like that, alright?
You got it.
Okay. I've got no reference images, so I'm a bit...
Do you want me to bring up some reference?
No. That'd be...
Are you trying to think of what's on the starfish?
Not really. It's not... Look, right.
Are you making Patrick Star?
It's a chocolate starfish.
No! James! You said you wouldn't!
I said I wasn't I said it as a euphemism for an asshole, and then I thought, actually, I could just make it a euphemism. I could draw the starfish as a starfish made out of chocolate rather than an ass.
Okay, so... You make... Okay. Then you could add some shadows and highlights to make it look more chocolatey.
Get a bit of melting going on.
Yeah.
Majorly
Oh.
overrating my skills right there.
I thought you were gonna say you're majorly overreacting to the chocolate starfish.
No. Alright. Let's do it. Well, that's probably a bit too low. Alright. So, if we imagine we're looking top down on a table, the sun's off. I'm just gonna add a little sun just there. You can't really see it, but that's just for guideline. Actually, should I do... No, I'll do. Should I do shading on a second layer?
Yeah.
So then... But I'm used to Gartic phone, alright?
Yeah.
I'm not used to having layers. Let's just real quick. So the sun...
I mean, you don't have to have a layer. You could do it all in one layer.
The sun will be coming down just there. How the hell am I going to shade with that pen? I'm not. What would be good to shade with the charcoals?
I mean, you can shade with anything. You can smudge it together to make it more, but maybe an airbrush might be nice to shade with.
It's an airbrush. Airbrushing. Oh, yeah, I don't want to edit the bloody brush. let's give that a quick. That's a bit much.
Just reduce the size.
So we'll start off just with a little bit. These are the signs that we're going to put. You know, because the light's up there. This bit doesn't really need much.
No.
I don't know if they can hear me. Can people hear me?
Probably a little.
Only a little. Do they need me to? Do they need me to shout?
I think I can move the mic a bit closer to you.
This bit's furthest away, so we're going to do it next. We'll smudge it later. Round it out just there. There you go. That's excellent. That's good stuff. We'll give it a semblance of depth. And then I want to actually make the size extra little. How do I smudge?
You take the finger tool and double click it because it is on a charcoal one.
What do I do?
If you want, you can do the same tool as the airbrush to make it a smooth.
Where was the airbrush? There it is. Alright. What, and then just give it a kind of...
Yeah, just get it around the lines.
Oh, well, I just removed it.
What do you mean?
It's not really smudging. It's just kind of... You know?
Yeah. You might just have to layer it a bit more. Add a bit more of the color to it as you smudge.
What, like...
Or you could do the charcoal. I like that because it adds texture.
How do I select? How do I do like a color selector?
You go back to the screen. Hold down over the color you want. Like, press the screen with your finger.
I see.
Mhm.
Right, so now we smudge in with that color.
Yes. Well, no.
I'm being lied to, chat.
You don't smudge with a color. You're smudging the colors that are available on that layer.
That's actually nice. That actually not too bad. That makes it look very round and very cartoony, doesn't it?
Hmm. You know you can zoom in as well.
I don't appreciate that.
Okay.
Hold on. Well, I'm still in the airbrush, aren't
Yes.
I? That was a bit bad. That's the smudge.
Hmm.
That one was a bit crap. Let me add another little bit. That bit's just disappearing. The other bit did it. That bit isn't doing it. Bloody do it. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and then I think if I grab that. Actually, wait, no. No. A little bit darker. Oh, it's because the opacity is meant to be low as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stop the opacity.
I think I probably will, maybe just like a little bit edited, post the how to draw. There won't really be any there won't be any voiceover, so if anything, I will probably just post the VOD, just so that way it has the me talking in it, and then you guys get a little something extra with my husband. But so if you're interested in following that little how-to, it wasn't super in-depth, but if you want to, go check it out on my channel when I post it. You can go ahead and subscribe and put on the, or click the bell button to get a reminder for whenever I do post it. And hopefully I'll post some more content on there soon, because right now it is a little inactive compared to Twitch. But again, thank you everyone for joining my stream. I really had fun. Tomorrow I will be back on same time, 2 p.m. for a 30-minute art stream for Inktober. If you guys have any more requests, be back. It took a little longer since the government sent me a letter. Oh no! The stream is just ending. Oh no! We finished the yeah, see you tomorrow. I'll post the VOD of like the little how-to on the drawing if you want to check it out on my YouTube channel. Probably won't be tonight, maybe have it up by tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Really had a lot of fun. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, as we do the 8th day of Inktober, which is Reckless. Ooh. That'll be interesting to think about. But I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and have a very spooky Inktober. Bye bye.